Welcome to Firearms of America. So in this video I wanted to talk about the Sand Viper. Sand Viper from Taran Tactical, the brand new gun that I reviewed yesterday. I don't know when I'm uploading this video, but I reviewed it yesterday, and during the review I mentioned, speculated, that'd probably be the correct word, speculated that this gun might be the gun that will be featured in the next John Wick movie, John Wick Chapter 4. The reason why all of this is important, the reason why we even talk about it, is because to me, at least, and I know a few people that share this opinion with me on John Wick movie in general, is that the movie itself finally, finally the big Hollywood, whatever they decided, they realized the importance of making firearms combat proper. Okay, so Keanu Reeves actually took his time, and everybody who participated in the movie, all the actors, Halle Berry in different chapters, whoever, they were all training. They really took it seriously. So whenever you're watching the movie, it's interesting how before you get into the firearms, before you get into combat, before you get into all of these things, when you watch an action movie, you're like, oh, this is great, you have explosions, you have the effects, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. But when you actually get into all of that stuff, you start appreciating, and let's say that depreciating all the crap that you see in pretty much everything else that is out there. You see how terrible most of the action movies are, how stupid. And you know what? I had a plan for a very long time to make a video specifically for this channel of as many as possible movie scenes from movies, how dumb some stuff that they say, some stuff that they do about firearms, about combat. Just like, for example, to give you a good example, I'll never forget that, and this will be in the video. It's from the Die Hard, okay? Die Hard, Bruce Willis. I mean, the budget was huge, the movie is huge, the actors are huge, and yet this is how dumb things get, right? Whenever it comes to firearms. The guys passed through the metal detector, alright, with guns on them, undetected. Why? Because they had Glocks. And apparently because Glocks are made from plastic, they were not able to detect them. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that, but it's there, still there. I don't know if it's Die Hard 1 or 2, I think it was Die Hard 2, because that was when they got stuck in that skyscraper, whatever. Yeah, apparently you can carry a Glock through the metal detector. This is terrible, right? Or you can see some movies where it's like thermal scope seeing through the walls and stuff, and it's like, what the hell? It's not an X-ray, it's thermal. You cannot even see through the glass with the thermal. But that really shows that either people don't make the research, or they just think that everybody else is stupid who is watching movies. And John Wick is an exception to that. John Wick really showed the movie, right? John Wick showed the appreciation for firearms, appreciation for combat. And that's where Taran Tactical comes into play. Taran Tactical comes into play by training the actors and at the same time providing, fantastic firearms. There's a lot of guns in John Wick movies from Taran Tactical. The Glocks, the custom Glocks that were featured, I think it was Chapter 2, the Combat Master, there were some shotguns, there were some concealed carry guns that were featured from Taran Tactical. And of course, the one that I reviewed yesterday is a brand new gun from Taran Tactical called the Sand Viper. If you haven't seen the review, check it out. So, why do I think that this gun right here might be the next gun featured in John Wick movie? Well, first of all, besides being Taran Tactical, right, brand that created, provided all the guns for, not all the guns, but a lot of guns for the previous movies, trained Keanu Reeves, Halle Berry, a lot of other actors. This right here, this gun right here has that wow factor. I mean, it's super limited edition. It's, I'm pretty sure this is their most expensive so far handgun, because their previous versions, the Glock Combat Master, they were going for around 6 grand, between like 5 and 7 grand. This right here with the full package is closer to $9,000. So it's very, very limited edition. Obviously not a lot of people can spend that much money on it, but I think there are much more important reasons besides the price, besides the wow factor and all of that sort of stuff. And I'm gonna talk about them. That's what I want to talk about in this video. But before I talk about them, I want to remind you, giveaway for this gun is still active, and let me double check. I'm pretty sure ends on July 13th. Okay, so what is it? Right now it's July 24th, June 24th, sorry. So we have about a little bit more than 2 weeks, all right, to enter. So don't miss your chance to enter. There's a link. I'll put the link to the giveaway in this video as well. You're buying a mug, right? A cool mug. So if you don't win, at least you will end up with a mug, all right? But for a chance to win, this thing right here, I mean, this is just phenomenal. You know, whenever I do my reviews, whenever I do my shooting, I always try to obviously do as best as I can on the shooting. I'm not really that great of a shot. I do, obviously, with all the reviews that I'm doing, all the time that I spend at the range, I consistently improve my skills whenever it comes to firearms, besides the knowledge. But still, there are some things that are still difficult for me. There was never a time that throughout the whole review, and usually, if you guys know, if you watch my reviews, you know I usually shoot about 20, 25 rounds per review, sometimes even less. Usually it's like 5 rounds, once, twice, 3 times, so like 15, more like 50. With this gun I shot probably closer to 50 rounds, and I haven't missed a single shot on I mean, we're talking about like 6-inch, 5-inch plate. So not that I was impressed with myself, but I was impressed with myself combined with this handgun right here. And that's one of the first reasons why I think this handgun might be in John Wick 4, is because we always look at handguns like this as a competition handgun, competition USPSA, right, for example. And if you think at the core of USPSA competition, you're moving, you're shooting this target, some of the targets are moving, all right? So it's very tactical. It's very much combat shooting. So instead of looking at the handgun as a, wow, look at this is great competition handgun, at the core of it, it really is the great combat handgun. The only reason why we don't look at handguns like this as a combat handgun, because it has obvious optic and all that sort of stuff, which is a super tight, build, so it's more for accuracy. But think about John Wick for a moment, right? Think about what he does, right? for a living. He is, for a living, a tactical shooter. He's a fighter, and one of his top skills is firearms handling. So for someone of that skill, right, if you think about it as a real character, right, someone of that skill would definitely want something as precise, as fast as possible. And what can be more precise, more fast, more tactical really than a high quality competition handgun? And besides being the competition handgun, because most of the competition, if you look at them, most of the times they're built so tightly that just racking the slide becomes a pain. Why? Because they got the round in the chamber, they have the safety on, and then once they go, right? So everything is already prepared for them. In a combat situation, you still want that accuracy of a tight built handgun, but at the same time you don't want to compromise the easiness of racking, because if one of your limbs is disabled while your arms is you're shot, well, now you only have one hand that you can use in order to rack the gun. And this right here, I still need to figure out how they managed to do it, being such a precise, such a flat shooting handgun, which is perfect for the competition, at the same time being so easy to rack, being absolutely fantastic for a combat situation, all right? Even if you one-handed shot, I mean, you can just, and that's it, you're going, this is it. This is ultimate combat gun right here. Obviously, with accessory rail, you can put the accessories, and obviously we might see that in the movie. Flashlight, obviously for your combat handgun, with a flared mag well, with a variety, I mean, you do get this package with a variety of different magazines, with the highest capacity being 28 capacity magazine, 9mm. This is like a combat, I mean, I don't even have a word for it. It's like, yes, please, can I have that for my combat tactical situation? This is what I want, all right? Obviously with the red dot optic, it makes it much easier to hit the target because it also sits so low on the board that pretty much as long as you have your red dot on target, you're gonna pretty much hit dead on every single time, especially considering that most combat situations are in a close range. It's gonna be the case here with this handgun. Now, one thing I know that some people, whenever it comes to competition versus combat situations, a lot of people that are experienced in combat, they are not that particular fans of light triggers. Personally, to me, it comes down to shooter skill. If you are, the more skilled you are in, firearms handling, the more you start to appreciate that light trigger. Why? Because first of all, it doesn't take away from accuracy at all. All you have is just a little bit of this, and then super crisp break, super fast reset. So I mean, you can be light speed with this trigger. And I mean, someone like John Wick, obviously, and interesting thing about John Wick actually is that obviously in real life, it really, I would say probably nearly impossible to reach that level. But if you do, you will be that Baba Yaga who everyone is gonna be afraid of because you are that good. Alright, that's just the reality of it. And I think that really shows, because if you look at the movie in general, why everybody's so scared? Okay, he's a good shooter. Okay, he's a good fighter. But if you're really that good as he is, every time he's pulling that trigger, that shot lands where it's supposed to be. I mean, whatever kind of situation, around the corner, clearing the room, variety. I mean, he handles the firearms, his shotgun, ARs, handguns. Whenever it comes to combat, there's all sorts of variety of martial arts that John Wick is capable of, right? Fighting in the different styles. If you are that good, you will be feared as much as John Wick is feared in the movie. So it really, at the end of the day, they're very, very realistic. The only far from reality thing about that movie is that it takes years and so much work put into becoming as good in the firearms handling, as good in the martial arts. But let's get back to the Sand Viper, because there are a few other things that I wanted to mention, why this gun might be in the movie, and at the same time why this gun might not be in the movie. So why it might be in the movie is because it's made for someone like John Wick. Alright, at the end of the day, because this is not as limited as a competition handgun, but at the same time it is, whenever it comes to combat, it's really for someone that is on the level, who can handle something like this in the combat. The only reason why I think this might not make it to the movie is because of the color. Alright? It's probably not gonna work, this bronze coating, for John Wick's style of wearing gray and black suits. Mostly black suits. Probably gonna look weird, but I think that Taran Tactical might come out with specifically something, maybe kind of a balance between the stainless steel and black coating, specifically to match the style of John Wick, kind of like what they did with their Combat Master Glocks. So you never know. In any case, whether it's there in the movie or not, I mean, if it's in the movie, fantastic, because you guys had an opportunity to watch the review as soon as it came out, and you had a chance to win it. But even if it's not in the movie, still you're getting, if you want this, you are getting something from Taran Tactical. The brand, the firearms manufacturer now, because before they started with accessories and doing the upgrades, but now they are a legitimate manufacturer. Not only the manufacturer, they're also trained. So it's very interesting what Taran created with his company. I think in a lot of ways it's very unique in the world of firearms that it's that they can make something like this, because think about this. This is very expensive and at the same time very limited. All right, so very limited market. It's much easier to make a decent quality, something affordable, right, and sell it left and right, compared to something so custom, so limited, and sell that. So it's very interesting to see what Taran Tactical created and how they grew out of being a competition shooter, doing accessories, doing the upgrades, custom Glocks and stippling and all that sort of stuff, and becoming this right here. So let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think? Do you think this handgun might end up in John Wick movie Chapter 4? I'm really interested about your opinion on this. Don't miss the giveaway while it's going. If you missed it, alright, if you missed it, don't worry about it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because more giveaways will be coming this way. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. This was Firearms of America. I'll see you guys next video.